couple of questions here about Scottie that I'll combine. So, David Thorpe said that it was smart of the Raptors to not ask too much of Scottie this season on the offensive end. David was obviously a guest on the show last week when he mentioned this. But user David Griffin said, what was this? David Griffin, Pelicans GM? No, but
how is he still Pelicans GM, by the way?
But it's clear that when Scottie is aggressive, he creates the most advantages, more Scottie ball. And the other question that we can lump in here from Dan, what kind of player do you think Scottie can be next year after a year of NBA experience under his belt? What kind of stat line would be reasonable to expect? So maybe we can tackle this kind of, in two segments. So the first part of the question, I think you mentioned this on the Reaction podcast last night. Like, might be time to start just giving Scottie the ball more in these crunch time situations. Let's see what he can do, because he flashed a couple things last night at the end of the game.
Listen, ultimately, if you have the ability to make a move and then shoot over the top of Kevin Durant, I understand that these are like, it's not like I've seen Pascal scoring Kevin Durant, for example. There's a game last season where the Raptors beat the Nets, where KD scored individually one-on-one against KD, against James Harden, against Kyrie, and then he scored on all three players on the same possession. So I'm not saying that like this is like, okay, he can do it, no one else on the team can do it. Other guys can do it too. But I think what we've seen so far is that Fred, because of his size, on these like last shot scenarios, and I'm just strictly talking about the last shot scenarios, end the shot clock, or like maybe even second last possessions of the game, the defense is like as locked in as possible. He struggles to create the separation. Okay. Pascal, I just don't feel like he has the confidence right now. Like when you see the end of the games, do you see Pascal demanding for the ball? When he misses a shot, do you feel like he's still going to continuously take the next shot? I think there's an actual confidence thing that needs to be rebuilt up there because of obviously what happened last year with him missing a lot of shots at the end of the game. So to me, I'm just like, well, what are your options then? You have Scottie and you have OG, who's not available right now, and then you have Gary. To be honest, I thought that was actually kind of interesting that they've given Gary a lot of these like clear out ISO end of the quarter possessions. That's like almost like practicing for an end of a game scenario, but he also hasn't obviously had a chance to do it at the end of a game yet. But in terms of with Scottie, yeah, I mean, I feel pretty happy with him whenever he tries to create something. It's a little awkward, but he can clearly generate advantages based on the fact that he's just like physically so much more adept than other players in terms of being able to have advantages. So you might as well try it. I don't think you have much to lose. And if you're talking about development seasons, I don't really mind that. Now, that's different from me saying the Raptors should run the offense for Scottie the way that the Nets ran the offense for KD last night. That's not realistic. He's not at that skill level. You're not going to give him the ball every single time. But at the same time, I do want to see him be more involved in the offense. Like he had one shot attempt in the first half last night, and then he finished obviously with 20 plus points because he has a great third quarter and stuff like that. That happens a lot. But yeah, give it to Scottie. And listen, I think the vibes of the team, not that the team should care about this too much, but the atmosphere around the team in terms of just the fan base, they're probably a lot more happy seeing Scottie miss a shot in the end than Fred missed the next shot at the end, or Pascal missed the next shot at the end. Because we can forgive. Anything Scottie does this year, we can forgive. Let's be real, he's on a different standard.
No, of course. And no, I totally agree with you.
So
to the second part of that question, I think we know that as much potential as Scottie is showing this season, he's still a rookie. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs this season, even with all the potential that he's showing. In terms of asking what we might reasonably expect him to be at next season from a performance basis, from a stat line basis. For me, if you're going to become a really good player in this league, a star player, a superstar player, a top 10 player, for me, the thing that separates these superstars from everyone else is consistency, right?
Yeah.
Like when you talk about a Kawhi Leonard that a lot of Raptors fans are obviously familiar with, or even Steph Curry, who broke the record last night. The thing that makes these guys great is like, what you're going to get from these guys every single night. And it's very easy in a way to build a team around them. Not like very easy, but like once you know what your superstar is going to give you, everything else can easily fall into place. And we saw that right here during the 2018-19 championship season. Once you have Kawhi in your orbit, Kyle falls into place. Pascal was perfectly fallen into place for the most part during the playoffs and on and on. I want to start seeing that next season from Scottie. I want to start seeing him consistently being, honestly, is 20 and 10 out of reach for Scottie?
He does 20 and 10 season? Like every other game.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think it's ridiculous for me to say that I expect him to average 20 and 10 next season?
I wouldn't be surprised if Scottie averaged 20 and 10 in a month like this season.
Okay.
So I think he already has the skill set to do it.